think so.
Just kidding. What I think is funny is the fact that you totally poo-poo the idea that it could be Mercury retrograde, but are totally into the idea that it's because you were running a fever and did some kind of magic.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's what you told me.
I have no idea what you're referring to. I mean, I don't say it's not a thing. I think it is a thing. I just can't say we just can't always blame things on it because it gets a negativity built up in our mind.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But
there's somebody joining.
Hey, Karen. So what were you saying about your makeup?
Every time I go to the mirror, it's fine. I sit here and I got globs. And it's like, why are there not globs when I'm in front of the mirror? I don't understand why it's only globular whenever. I'm going to sorry, I'm leaving.
In the meantime, hey, Sandra and Linda and Deborah and Robert.
Here you go, baby.
And Karen was the first in, and Brandy. Appreciate y'all hopping right on in here.
There you go, buddy. I'm sorry, but the dog started scratching just when I sit down. I thought we had everything together. What is that?
What is that little sparkly thing?
What is that thing?
Is that my angel?
That might be a thing that's saying that. I don't know what it is. Actually,
look at you.
I think it means like it's got enough people watching it that you can like put that like you're a fan or something.
If I line that up, maybe it'll make me say more intelligent things. Look right there over my throat chakra.
There you go. Did I do anything? Did I punch something when I got up?
I don't know. I'm going to take it as a good thing though.
But yeah, anyway, my makeup does weird things. And what it is, I decided to try some tinted moisturizer, thinking that might be a good thing for an older lady because, makeup gets in your little wrinkles there. And I think makes me look a little more ladylike. I don't know.
Hey, y'all, I told Angela when I came in today with this top on, she looks like Jennifer Love Hewitt's friend that helped her run the antique store.
Can't think of that actress's
name. In The Ghost Whisperer, which I consider a high compliment. Okay.
Yeah. One I usually get is Kathy Bates. I was telling her, I've had people actually like cashiers and stuff say, you look like Kathy Bates. So far I'm getting that actress you're talking about. Don't know her name. She's also a lawyer in some show, I think. And Kathy Bates and Frances Bavier.
That's a pretty good group. I mean,
it is what it is.
Hello, Pat and Kayla and Karen. Hey, Karen, thank you again for the book. I'm reading it every night. And Sky. Some evil force tried to prevent Sky from joining us, but she has outwitted them, and here she is.
I fight that evil force daily, girl. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the trends you've seen this week or the themes?
Why did I just suddenly forget that? Okay, we're going to have a prayer meeting for me. That's all there is to it because my mind is coming and going at a rapid rate.
So Sky said, so she did all that work to get to us, and all we're doing is talking about makeup.
That's feel free to hang up, Sky. It's perfectly okay.
We're just getting warmed up.
This could be the whole show too. I make no promises, old gal.
Anyway, trends for this week.
The trends for this week. Oh, this was weird. Doubles. For example, I had 2 emails from totally unrelated people have the same name, and each of them need to cancel their session for the same reason. Then I had doubles on birthdays, like, one after the other appearing. Then I had like people showing up, same name, 2 in a row. So this has been a week of doubles where you might be, maybe pay attention to number 2 out there if you're a lottery player, maybe, but also maybe be paying attention to partnerships and also be paying attention to coincidences, which I always say in your life, especially if it's one that are kind of like doubles. I think that little star thingy means that enough people have watched us that they actually qualify to get that little star thingy, saying that they're a fan or something, I think, because I believe
I'm telling you, the star's mine. It's on me.
It's you. You are. Hey, I am cool with that. Hey, no. I gave you the thing. Don't start.
I just saw something pop up on your phone, and it just said, "A sweet friendship refreshes the soul," which is a Bible quote. I think that's pretty cool.
That is nice.
And it's interesting. It popped up just when you're talking about doubles and relationships.
Is that me? It can't be me because I'm on silent. Why are things happening already? That is bizarre.
And my star's fading. Okay. Trends, themes besides doubles.
I want to know, where did that sound come from? Because my phone is like no sound. Okay. So anyway, we're going to get weird today, evidently. If anybody, by the way, people are always writing me and saying that they see a shadow figure behind us or they hear a EVP. Last time somebody said they heard kids playing, and I finally listened to it, and I heard it, and I thought, oh, that's just Dylan. They were right. It's just Dylan outside. But then I got to thinking, I don't think Dylan went out that way because it was raining. I think he was not even out there to be heard. So your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, also in the near future, you want to be paying attention not only to relationship stuff, but also any plans. It's going to be a real good time, I think, for thinking about where you want to go. Like if you want to take a little jaunt, if you want to go to the country or to the city or, the ocean or the mountain, whatever. This is a good time if you're not ready to actually do it, which you might want to actually do it right now if you can, but it's a good time to actually think about it. Yeah, Brandy, that was somebody calling through Facebook. You're exactly right. Maybe it was the computer making that noise, and that's why it didn't sound like it's coming from my phone. So that's what that was. Probably somebody hit the wrong button. I do it on a regular basis. And there was something else about the energy. Oh, this is a time when emotions could be running deep. And Chihuahuas bark. Yeah, that's how it goes around here too. Although I have to say, darn it.
Yeah, Joanne's Chihuahuas are barking back at Angela's. And hey, Judy in Kansas.
Where is my harmonica?
Your harmonica?
I need my harmonica so I can show you that A, I can play taps, which I can't. But B, I could show you Kevin, the amazing singing Chihuahua. If he's anywhere around, all you got to do is play the harmonica, and he will come busting out of wherever that is, jump on you, and start singing immediately.
Really?
It is quite humorous, and I would love to have shown you, but unfortunately, somebody got my harmonica.
I've got a harmonica. I can bring it next time.
I'll go one. Maybe I'll show up with them, but if not, go ahead and bring it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Golly bum, I can't stand the way things appear and disappear around here. I searched in that refrigerator for a leftover onion the other day. It was not there. I had to go to the store. I did not have an onion, right? So I go to the store next day, get onions, whatever. I opened the fridge, put, partial one back in there. There it was, plain sight, middle of the shelf, like by its freaking self. So I'm going to say this might be time for y'all to notice that there could be more paranormal activity going on, and you yourself might be experiencing more psychic moments yourself. So just be aware that the energy is very fluid right now, for lack of a better word. It's soft, it's cushy, more emotional. Expect people to be more emotional, and expect yourself to be more emotional. Dreams can be taken on addicts. Do not forget I said that, because I feel like it's important. Dreams may be taken on added significance. It may be that you might have some psychic dreams, but it could also be like just working out, your inner world through your dreams, which is good. That means maybe you're bringing stuff up, deal with it, move it along, bring it up, say goodbye. So a time for goodbyes. I want to say that, and I don't know why. So anyway, that's what I want to say about the energy of the week. It's fluid, it's emotional, it's giving and caring, but it also could be a little bit, don't lose your grounding. That's what I want to say. Don't float so far out in space you forget where you come from. I'm going to say that.
You want me to tell you a little tip for staying grounded in the physical body, which helps?
Are you wearing makeup?
I'm not wearing makeup.
God, your skin is, you might be sick.
Let me give you a tip about staying grounded.
Yeah.
If you get a stainless steel spoon, okay, and take your shoes off and just use that spoon and just rub it all over the bottom of both feet. Just massage the bottom of your feet. And that will even out your polarity. And it will also, and that sometimes your polarity can actually, if you get really ungrounded, your polarity is kind of battling with the earth.
Did not know that. That sounds very interesting.
Super duper easy and
very interesting. Yeah. Well, I'll tell old James about that.
Yeah, and only stainless steel. Now, silver spoon's not going to work.
Now, metals affect, just like rocks, minerals, I think affect people too. For example, I like gold, yellow gold energy, although that's probably fake yellow gold. It's to me though, gold is a more calming thing. And when I wear silver, which I rarely do, but if I wear silver, it actually, I think, excites energy. It keeps me a little bit on the hyper, and maybe that's craziness, but to me, I feel like silver is something that kind of gets me a higher vibration, whereas the gold gives me a more mellow. But everybody's different, and everybody has to trial and error and see what's theirs. Because my daughter Jamie, she says that she needs the silver. It keeps her. She feels more in tune with whatever energy she's needing.
Huh. Interesting. Karen says she woke up talking about dreams and stuff. She woke up laughing the other morning. Any meaning with that other than just like, well, what a great way to wake up?
I think it's like a very bad sign. Not really.
Really?
It used to be. It's like that was a sign, I think, of like impending doom. But since she's still here, I don't feel like she has to worry one bit about it. I'm just playing. It was. Don't worry one bit about it. Everything's fine. I think it just means that maybe you were having a joyful experience out there in the ether, and you came back, and even though you weren't consciously aware of whatever you were doing out there, you brought that experience back, and it was giving you some pleasure before you got totally woke up.
What is the lines in there with the word?
With the wood whiffy quality for what's going on.
Whiffy.
Okay, whiffy is fine. I think that means an ungrounded, unsettled, kind of daydreamy.
Okay.
Daydreamy, maybe kind of a happy kind of maybe energy. Although for a lot of people it's anxiety ridden, because people that are sensitive, that are kind of very maybe psychically minded especially, could get overwhelmed and need to go hidey hole thing,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead now.
Well, before we go any farther, I just want to ask you if you have anything any insight into the big news story of the day, which is the coronavirus. What do you feel about that?
I'm just surprised it's took this long to get something going, and I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm not yet felt like everything is doomed. I am not there yet. At some point I will be, because I think it's not if, it's when there'll be a mask off, because that's what history has shown. And as far as this goes, I am hopeful for a vaccine. I'm hopeful that we will be able to not allow it to get too far ahead, but at the same time, if it don't get us now, something probably will. I am over, you're not as old as me, I am over a certain age.
I'm right behind you.
That the coronavirus is like getting my age.
So, but as an
older.
event, like the energy of this as an event, does it feel, what does it feel?
I don't know what to say. It just feels like it's a timely thing. I'm surprised it took as long as it did.
Okay.
That's the best I can tell on that deal.
I don't know. I might be, a little bit of a Pollyanna, but at this point, I feel
enough. Okay, I'm at me. I just cannot take it anymore. I had to have it. Go ahead.
I just feel like that. I still feel it's okay that the fear is as much a danger as the virus.
Well, Roosevelt, fear, it takes you to a dark place. It can make you act out in an ugly way. It may even cause people to act in a way that could be counterproductive to the whole thing. People trying to be mean to people from Asia because they're Asian. Like, yeah, that made sense. People are stupid, in a lot of ways sometimes. When you get a fear group mentality, they are not overly bright. When you're coming from a place that's based in a dark emotion, not much balance or logic to it, you're not going to have a good outcome, are you?
No.
But I think, like I said, I do feel like it's just a matter of time before there is something that it's just history. It's just the way it's going to be. And if it gets me, you make sure you tell everybody I said it would. Because no matter how I die, I've been telling everybody all the various ways that I could go, so that no matter what, somebody can truthfully tell everybody, she said that's what would happen, and she was right. And then hopefully everybody will forget them other ways.
Sky says we're overdue for a massive societal shift, and this certainly would be a catalyst for that.
We are, and it is. It could very well be a societal shift for whatever reason, whether it's in political choices or whether it's in, things happening on the planet that force us to go in a direction we had not even thought about or planned on. That's why they're afraid in our governments, all governments, I think, have been totally afraid to allow us to have more knowledge of the stuff that would contradict our religious beliefs, for example, because it could actually throw society into a crisis. People, that are our leaders, they need us to be calm. Like, you cannot lead, the shepherd can't lead the sheep if the sheep are diving off a cliff. You got to have their attention. You got to keep the peace. Otherwise, society does go down. I want to have peace. I want my kid to be able to go to school and have a normal life. I don't want to have chaos and nonsense and fighting and all that stuff. And people, I think we agree that we'd like a peaceful society. So we agree unconsciously, perhaps, to not look at certain things because it would destroy our peace. But you know what? Sometimes you got to take out laundry, you got to shake it out, you got to air it out, you got to hang it out, and there it is. And that's what's happening. I think will be happening. I think our collective laundry as a nation, as a world, as a people, is going to have to be aired out, going to have to be cleaned up, going to have to be weeded out, even so that we can get to a higher level and we can actually maybe have a better life ahead that we might not have had we not been pushed to make some decisions that we wouldn't have, because maybe we're just living in poverty and clutter so long that we don't even know we're living in it.
Yeah, and dust and all kinds of little critters, hiding in the corners and stuff. At some point, you got to just clean it up.
She's been looking at my house.
No, I was actually thinking about my own, to be honest. I was thinking about the little nooks and crevices in my house that have all kinds of stuff in them. Judy says that she believes that these diseases are put out there by the government to thin the population. And that is a theory that's out there. I think it's not totally far-fetched.
I don't know.
But who knows? I mean,
I think that's too random. I think if you're going to kill a bunch of us, you got to come up with a little better deal than that.
Well, it's not necessarily random because this virus, at least the first place it was, where we think it came from in China, is only a half a mile from a biological lab.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. But I don't think that's it. I think it comes from people tampering around with wild animals in a way that's inappropriate. They should not have been. Maybe we shouldn't go mucking around with wildlife and using it for food and whatever the hell else they use it for, to pets. Oh my God, I cannot stand it when people mess around with nature. It makes me so angry. And I think that maybe nature's fighting back. Honestly, I think nature's fighting back. I watch a show on Smithsonian. It's about orangutans, and I suggest y'all watch it if you enjoy things like that. And the orangutans, I see you sneaking in here, James. Don't think nobody noticed because every dog just decided to go back crazy.
No, I'm sorry.
You're good,
Hey, James.
James has been making those little men again. And last night he brought them up, and they were like sitting on the dresser showing them to me. And I kept like taking little pictures, and it's like there's like a whole line of little men that he's going to sell to hang like wind chimes, and that's all good and dandy, but it was like creeping me out too because they got little Google eyes and he was making them all look at me. So there was like this whole line of little men. I had to say, what the hell are you doing in that basement, James? But whatever. What was I talking about? I was going off. Watch this show on the orangutans on Smithsonian.
And you had something with the TV show.
And anyway, it gets me so riled up because what it is a show. It's a documentary series about them taking in over there and wherever they are. I'm not right mind. I'll say the wrong place. I want to say Malaysia, but I could be totally off on that. But anyway, bringing in these orphan baby orangutans, and it's orangutan school, and it shows you all these nature things and how they're raising all these wonderful little things, and they're teaching them to be wild again. But these are animals that are basically gentle. I feel like I will have a stroke and die if I think about it too much because it enrages me so badly how people who are supposed to be intelligent have mistreated the nature on this planet. And I think this virus could be man-made, but no, I think nature is fighting back, and as well as it should. But, I think we had the flu back in 1918, and God knows what other, things have not been able to spread because we're able to nip it, but at some point they're going to spread, and that's the way it's going to be. And there's not going to be no nipping it, and it is going to thin us out, and there it is. Like I said, I'll probably be first in line.
I don't think so. Okay, let's switch gears, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still upset about the orangutan. I'm sorry. That, and manatees why the hell do we have to make laws to protect such gentle animals? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? We ought to be wiped off. Honestly, I love you people. I love every one of you. But mankind as a whole, honest to God, why the Lord spared us, I will never know.
Well, there's a purpose in all of it. That's the only thing we have to go with.
Whatever.
You had a weird...
I think we have gone from, our spirits have incarnated on planet after planet after planet and destroyed each and every one. And right now, everything that's happening, it's like, yep, that's what's happening. We're destroying this one, and we got to get off. I mean, ask that Elon Musk guy, whatever his name is, ask that dead guy now. I mean, they're all telling you that we are trying to get off that
dead
planet.
guy.
You know what I'm talking about.
Stephen Hawking?
Yes, because this world,
the dead guy.
You know, I can't remember things. This world is, we have just went and destroyed yet another one. Not the real people. You know, we talked about this before. That native peoples, like the Aborigines, some Native Americans, some other tribal peoples all over the planet, have referred to themselves, none knowing the others, as the real people. Mm-hmm. And I think they're right. I think they're real people because they've lived and worked with nature in a way that was sensible. You know, they didn't see evidently a need to self-destruct. And then we got these other explorer people. I don't know. God almighty. I mean, what is wrong with that? I'm sorry. I'm just hanging up this computer right now. I'm feeling
I'm
around the house a while.
I'm there with you, and I'm sure everybody's watching.
Yeah, they probably done hung up by now. It's all right if they do.
No, I'm sure that everybody agrees.
That Angela needs medical care. Yes.
No, it's obvious. It's obvious. There's only one inhabitant of this world that basically fouls its own nest, and that's us. And that doesn't make any sense at all. You and I've have often said we humans, at least the ones who aren't real, are just not from here because we wouldn't treat this our home.
No, well, our spirits, I don't think we're from here. I think most of us, a lot of us, especially some of us in leadership positions, are. I don't know. It's like an alien world to them. So what do they care?
Yeah. Okay, let's switch gears. Okay.
Yeah.
Breathe.
I'm riled. Go ahead.
Okay. While you're calming down, I want to give everybody another little energy medicine thing to help your immune system. Again, it's something very simple. It certainly won't hurt. Thymus thump, because your thymus controls or helps your immune system. Mm-hmm. And all you got to do is just thump here. Just when you think about it a few times a day, don't beat yourself up. But that just kind of stimulates that thymus and keeps your immune system strong. Helps keep it strong. Okay.
I need to know that.
Yeah, it's just a very simple
thing. I made up my mind.
thing.
I'm not getting sick no more, unless I'm going to die or something. I feel like I'm going to beat it back. Maybe this will help me.
Yeah, certainly won't hurt. Okay, you had a really weird thing happen to you this week.
Again, what was it?
When you were in line waiting for Dylan at school, about the car that switched. That is bizarre.
Okay, first of all, I'm not making this up. All my best stories start with, I am not making this up, by the way. I'm not. Okay, I've been falling asleep when the line too, but that I don't think that happened. Okay, no, this didn't happen. There's this car at school, and first of all, I just want to preface this by saying it annoys me. I don't like it. I can't tell you what kind it is because I don't know about that stuff. I know it to see it. It looks to me like some kind of car that, like something with a front plow thingy has run into and jacked up the hind end on it a little bit. It looks like it's been smushed and pushed up. I just don't like it. A lot of people do, and that's great. You know, that's great. But I just personally don't, and because I don't, I'm always noticing
they look
this car.
Aggressive.
They look like somebody's kicked them in the rump, and it like somebody get a hold of that car and pull it back out a little bit. But anyway, some people like it. It's great. It's a beautiful car to a lot of people. I'm just saying, me, I don't care for that particular style, so therefore I notice it. And I notice it too because I'm always behind it. It's like they must get there early. But anyway, I'm getting there and there's 2 lines to choose from. And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, don't matter which line I'm in, no matter who it is up there stopping traffic, it will come my turn and I will get stopped and the other line goes. It has become a thing I have battled for years and years. You do not understand the inordinate thought I have put into this, that why do they stop me? What is it about my car that says, don't let this car go? But anyway, it's a thing. Twice last week I got to go. They didn't stop me. Stopped the car behind me. It was like Christmas in my car. But anyway, back to where I was. I forgot where I was, to be honest. Oh, yes. I am sitting there, and I'm looking which one. So I'm looking at the cars, and there's like a gray one in front of me. So I pull up, and I can't judge distance anymore. I will think I'm sitting on top of something, and I'll actually be 3-4 feet away. So I'm trying really hard to lean up because I don't want to be that far back. And I'm actually paying attention and looking, and I look up, and I think, okay, that's close enough, whatever. Sit back down, turn off my car, get comfy, look down, and look back up, and I jumped about 2 feet because that dadgum car with that weird looking rear end was right in front of me. Now that car was not in front of me.
That's weird.
And there's no way for anybody to have gotten in or out. There's no way for like the car in front of me to could have pulled over and around. It was already a line over here. There's nowhere for it to go. And then I thought, what's that word?
The Mandela effect?
Mandela effect in Prague. This is Mandela timeline shift or something.
Wow.
Because I'm telling you, I mean, it shocked me because it was that car. By the way, is black. The car, the one I don't care for, it's black, and the car I was looking at carefully was gray, like a smoky gray.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, I looked up and it's this car I'm talking to you about that I don't care for. It's got a big emblem on the back too, which is to me a little bit pretentious. But it's somebody's probably out there drives that car and are cussing me right now. But anyway,
I got your number now.
Yeah, but it's like a very obvious thing. So when you see that, it's like that's the first thing I thought. What the heck?
The comments seem to be frozen. Could you just see if there's something going on there? It could be that everybody just
no, it just needs to be scrolled down.
Okay, all righty, there we go. Because usually it does it itself. Hey Judy, I guess she's already gone now. Karen doesn't like those jacked up cars either.
Good.
Hey, I want to show y'all something. You didn't send this to me, did you? I sent that to you, right?
Yeah, no, I posted it. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys may have seen this, but I thought this was so weird. Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon, and Neil A backwards is alien.
I think it's so funny.
That is so bizarre. That is so bizarre. That's a palindrome, read one both ways. You know what another cool palindrome is?
What?
Taco cat. It reads the same way forwards as it does backwards.
Okay, thank you so much for
yes.
that.
So now you have that. But seeing the alien thing reminds me, I had to laugh at myself yesterday in the grocery store. There was this little kid who was walking around with a sport jacket that had his last name on it. His last name was Allen. But when I saw the kid going around the corner, the jacket, kind of had a fold in it. And so I didn't see all of that second L, and it looked like it said alien on the back of his jacket. Funny. And what amused me was the fact that that's where my mind went right away, was that there was a kid with a jacket that said alien on it.
Yeah, what gets me is when you see something like that and you don't even question the thought. It's like you just normal that you would see something bizarre like that. It's perfectly okay to see an alien maybe walking around identifying himself as an alien even.
Team A.
And my phone ringer was turned off and it just rang, and I picked it up to see. I thought, well, maybe I just made a mistake. It was turned off. So I turned it back on and back off again. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
Okay, you sent me a text. Actually, I was already sitting in your driveway when you sent it. Something you wanted to talk about, and the text actually read paranoid objects, but that's not what it was supposed to say, was it?
No.
What did you mean?
Paranormal, and that wasn't even supposed to be paranormal. It's just supposed to be haunted objects.
Paranoid objects is what I got.
Haunted by paranoid people.
So what's the scoop?
Well, I think we probably talked about it before. About things that can be not only like a divot box, which was said to hold an evil spirit, but was closed up by holy people and all that. And there's been other stories about other things where religious or leaders or whatever have confined evil spirits to boxes or to things. Dolls sometimes are known, like Robert the doll, we talked about that before, house evil stuff. But also, there's things that are just haunted, like perhaps you have bought something at an antique store before and brought it home, and then weird things stop to happen. It could be that there's an energy attached to it, maybe an entire spirit that is hanging out there because they're attached to it in some way, and where they are, there's no time and everything's just right now. And it's been in that pawn shop or that antique shop for a couple of years. To them, it's just right now, and maybe they are seeing things from a perspective that we can't understand or imagine right now. But we can move that and stir things up. Or sometimes it's just broken off bits of energy, nothing really conscious, just bits of energy that was absorbed from a home, and you bring it home, and then all of a sudden, actually I read somewhere that Stevie Nicks, when her friend died, that there was a rocking chair that she had that she rocked her baby, her friend brought her baby with. I think this is right now. Anyway, that she would walk in and the rocking chair would be rocking by itself. And all she knew it was her friend still, hanging out.
We bought an old, one of those real 50-ish kitchen table and chairs, like Ozzie and Harriet kind of thing. And we had it in the kitchen for a while. And we decided to sell it, and we never did sell it. We still have it, but it's not in the kitchen. But when it was in the kitchen, I was just overwhelmed by the desire to sit at that table and play cards, which is something that we don't ever do.
That's another subject too, that you could be influenced by spiritual activity. So I think that, yeah, it's very possible that somebody actually maybe imbued that with that energy, that somebody might have had many happy games sitting there.
It felt like, gin rummy and that kind of thing with
Family.
coffee. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of thing. But I just, every time I went in the kitchen, I wanted to sit down and play cards.
I think that's so interesting.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my family too.
Okay, so Paula, you got the answer to your question about the Mandela effect, I think, from Kelly. Okay. We talk about that a lot. Mandela effect basically is this theory that timelines shift and you end up with alternate histories, alternate realities. And it's called the Mandela effect because some people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison. Other people remember him being released and then going on to, a career after that. So it's really interesting that you can just look it up. And
somebody told me, think about Tom Cruise and that, very, very famous scene of him sliding across the floor.
Risky business.
And they said, what color is his shirt? And I said, it's white. Was he wearing sunglasses? I said, yes. Turns out not wearing sunglasses, and his shirt was pink.
I've never seen that movie. So
you don't have to see the movie. There's been so many commercials and so iconic, such an iconic scene. And it's like, what are you saying? And it's like, just like Mr. The Monopoly man, they say that he does not have a monocle, and I know darn well he has a monocle. Everybody and their brother knows he has a monocle, and they say no, he does not have a monocle. That somehow we just confuse Mr. Peanut, the Peanut Man, who has a monocle. Yeah, that makes so much sense to me. I can see it in my mind. I can see him having a monocle.
Hey, check what Kelly said here. She has her mom's glider and was really missing her one night, and the boys and she were in the living room and noticed that the mom's glider was rocking. Nothing major, but there was no other reason for it to be moving other than that she thought her mom was visiting.
I think your mom was visiting. I think 9 times out of 10, no, probably 99 times out of 100, your first instinct is going to be right. So I feel like you maybe at some level was sensing that she was there, and that confirmed what you were sensing. I love that. It's a nice visit, I think.
Yeah. Okay, you also texted me something about Susie and Martin, your dogs.
Yeah, I was thinking about this for a vlog thing, which I probably won't do, but I'll do it here. But Susie gets so excited.
She's one of the Chihuahuas.
Little dog, Chihuahuas, technically Chihuahuas. Their grandma was a Dachshund. Anyway, she gets so excited when we come home or leave or whatever. Anytime she's excited, especially when we come home, let me put it that way. Or if she sees Martin, who she loves dearly, and for some reason, like they all sleep in the same bed, but in the morning when they wake up, it's like, oh my God, Martin, I can't believe I haven't seen you for the past 10 hours. But anyway, she'll grab something like a shoe or a pillow or a large dog blanket. There happens to be one, and tries to drag it around. Now, that's what she does, but if there's no object around, she grabs Martin. She grabs him by his facial fur, and he's got these little knots on here. I have to try to sneak in and cut him off because he don't like that. But it's like, he's like, oh, please, you're killing me, please. And you can't just get her off. She is like just so determined, and it's not done out of evilness. She loves him, and I actually looked it up, and this is a wolf thing. It's a throwback to wolf days. When the wolves come home from hunting, the little cubs, they come up and lick the mouth and whatnot to get the regurgitate to get the food. So it's a throwback to that. And Kevin actually will lick his face. He'll lick his face like crazy, but Susie's like doing this. Well, again, it's not come from evilness. And Martin, God bless him, he's decided to accept it gracefully, I guess. He don't have much choice. But he tries to, anyway, he accepts it. But the thing is, this is how some people love other people. They don't seem to understand that what they're doing is causing harm to somebody. They're just doing what their instincts tell them because maybe this is the way they were shown how to love by, their parents or whoever, or maybe this is just due to whatever their own insecurity or their own experience, whatever. They love in a way that can actually be harmful to another person. And they don't mean to be evil. They don't mean to cause pain. But the point of this story is very often, we love in a way that does hurt other people. We maybe get all possessive. We don't want them to go nowhere or be without us for 5 minutes. Or maybe we get, controlling, or maybe, we lose our emotions. Maybe we hurt somebody, hit somebody even because we're upset. And it's like, we think that's like okay, or maybe we know full well it's not okay, but we just can't control that part of us because maybe there's damage done, whatever. But the thing is, I think sometimes I have to tell people, if you're experiencing love in that way as a recipient of this, you might need to make sure that you're not like Pearl Martin and just decide to give in, but maybe find a way to either help that person express that differently by getting professional help, or moving along and finding a more appropriate kind of love that's not going to be causing pain. Love is not supposed to be that kind of painful. Love is supposed to be edifying your spirit, not breaking it. Okay? So don't be a Susie and a Martin. Don't be a person who does that to somebody, and don't be a person who accepts that from somebody. Okay? And that was my blog for today. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
I'm surprised I hadn't hung up by now.
Do you want to comment on what Pat wrote there?
I'm reading what Pat wrote. An old house near here is a big ugly tree that blocks the beautiful part of the house. Yesterday I passed by and said I wish they'd cut it down to show that part of the house. Well, I went by this morning, they were cutting that tree. Now, it very well could be that she is picking up, because I'm thinking they may have already decided that before yesterday, but she may have actually been picking up the energy that they put out there, and, she is reading that, not just having a random thought, but maybe picking up a thought that's actually out there in the universe. And hey, Melissa.
While you're talking about Susie and Martin, it made me think about just pets in general. And you do readings on pets, right?
I randomly, almost always will feel a pet, and I randomly do them if I feel, pulled in that direction. Sometimes I do feel like a pet needs to have its voice heard. But very often people who are that intuitive with their own pet, you can't tell them that they don't know, because they are already psychologically, spiritually, whatever, psychically linked with that animal.
Is there, when you do pick up cats, or even your own cats, and I'm going to ask you the same thing about dogs, is there a commonality that you pick up amongst cats as far as their concerns, their worldview, whatever?
They need a comfy place and lots of food. And they need to have constancy. They need to have somebody that is constant. They don't do well if there's a lot of chaos. They need to have a routine and safety. Cats are also very territorial. They need to have their defined space, and they need to kind of know what's going to happen. They're very picky, as you know, about their friends and with whom they can trust. And they don't love that easily, but when they do, they love wholeheartedly, but they don't want to be embarrassed by it,
What about dogs?
Dogs, I don't know. Dogs, bless their heart, I don't know. They have no business loving people the way they do, but they do. And their tests showing how their brains light up the way they do. Just because you speak a kind word to them, just because you're nice to them, their whole little brains light up with joy. They are here as our companions and to teach us about authority, about, spell dog backwards, it's God. And it's like we are to them. We can just walk into a room and wave our hand and lights come on. That's a pretty magical thing for a dog. A cat, I think, fully expects it. But, so I think that it teaches us about how to love in a parental way too. They're our children. Anyway, I don't even know what else to tell you, but they all have their own personalities. They all have their own ways of being. They're all individual, just like we are.
Have you ever picked up on a pet that you thought was an alien?
I believe I have, but I can't tell you when or where, because I don't remember things as well. But I feel like I've told you that I have in the past. Did I?
I thought maybe you did, but I don't remember any details.
I think that there are alien beings that could take on all manner of forms for various reasons. Maybe, I don't know why, but maybe they can.
Okay. One thing I noticed, any of y'all that attempted to join us last week, we were here on the wrong day, or I should say a different day and a different time. And it was upside down and wrong side out from the time we even tried to get started all the way through the end, when it would not even post.
I hope this will download so I can post it to my YouTube and to my webpage. But I don't know. I haven't tried anything since. But I went through and nothing else that I've ever done on here nothing works. It just goes to download. And I tried separate computers too.
Well, I was wondering if it had something to do with the fact, and I know you said you had a fever and that maybe you were sending out kinds of scrambled mojo, but our intention is set every week to do this Thursday at 1 o'clock. And when we veered off of that intention, I wonder if that had a way of scrambling the energy.
I think it very well could, and I think you're powerful in that way of causing things to happen. I've always accused you of that, of being, what do I call you? I forgot now.
Thwarter.
The thwarter.
I've actually had her jump up and down and with her fist clenched and going, thwarter.
You thwarted something. I don't like you knowing too much, because if it don't set right with you, I don't know what you're going to do about it.
But anyway, you think it just kind of got scrambled up maybe because our intention
I think
wasn't
that might have
set?
been one part of it. I think
Okay.
hopefully this is a problem with them and they fixed it, not just with me, because like I said, nothing else would, and on separate computers. But who knows? I think a combination of like the perfect storm of all the energy. Like for me, I am a computer thwarter. My daughter is a definite. I told you they wouldn't let her stand next to the new machinery at the vet's office, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
Because they learned the hard way. Well, it's the same here. I go into a store, everything's fine. They go to me and the computer will just melt down. And it's like, I'm telling myself, it's me. I'm telling you, it happens too much for me to say otherwise.
Well, Gabrielle sounds like had really very powerful experience. Heard a woman's voice who said she was a mystic. She said, "You are closer than you think. I opened my eyes and saw lights resembling a kaleidoscope swirling through the ceiling, and then they disappeared."
Okay, thank you. I saw that one time. I saw that. I'm sitting in that office I used to have over on Nature's Cupboard upstairs, minding my business as frequently I do. And I looked up, and I don't know if this is what he's talking about, but I hope it is, because I have never seen his before, since, or anybody else that did. Think of a pinwheel, and it was like, actually now it's sort of like chrome, the chrome symbol on, chrome. But that didn't exist then. This is back in the 90s, for crying out loud. And this thing was in the air, spinning in the air. And I saw it like I'm looking at this right now. And it's like, what? And then it was gone. It was like maybe a portal opening, but it was like a pinwheel and colors, primary colors. And I haven't saw anything like that before since, but I saw that then. And that sounds like what he's saying, maybe.
Wow.
Or no, he's saying a kaleidoscope. That maybe is not the same thing, but maybe it's the same thing, but different ways of seeing it. I don't know. I do not know, but I definitely saw something like that, along with the time I think I told you I saw what looked like a break in the air itself, like a fire, like bright yellow inside with burnt edges, but it was in air. And I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I saw a screen, detached retina, because I thought I didn't know what a detached retina was.
She always goes to the medical emergency. That's her first explanation.
He says it is a pinwheel. So
Okay.
Thank you for seeing something I did. I
Okay.
didn't hear the voices or anything, though. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Wow. Well, it sounds really, really powerful, and you should feel really lucky for having seen this. Okay, you did send me a couple of articles this time, and one was you forwarded a link that a client had sent you about the Green Children of Woolpit.
Never heard about that before.
I hadn't
today.
either. Yeah, and just to kind of sum it up, there was 2 children of unusual skin color who appeared in the village of Woolpit in Suffolk, England, sometime in the 12th century. The children, brother and sister, were of generally normal appearance except for the green color of their skin. They spoke in an unknown language and would only eat raw, broad beans. Eventually, they learned to eat other food and lost their green pallor, but the boy was sickly and died. The girl adjusted to her new life, but she was considered to be rather loose and wanton in her conduct. And the boy, they said, died shortly after the children were baptized. Whether that's related or not, who knows. The girl also learned to speak English, and when she did, explained that she and her brother had come from St. Martin's Land, a subterranean world inhabited by other green people.
Well, as you know, and thank you, Deborah Wolf, for saying that, by the way, just before it goes out of sight there, for saying that, I help somebody find a cat.
Cool.
Sometimes I can do that, and sometimes I don't claim to. I don't know if I can help or not, but I'm glad in that case it worked out. Anyway, which I didn't help find. I just told her where it was. What was we talking about? Oh, yeah, green. I think that triggered a lot of thoughts to me. I think that's very interesting. And there's a lot of those old historical stories that are very compelling, including starships that people saw with a ladder coming down and everything else. But it makes me think about subterranean people. We have spoken before about possibly subterranean people, alien to us, but not alien to Earth, perhaps, that are inhabiting maybe a world of their own. And I think that that is very compelling. I feel like there could be, maybe because of all the fracking and stuff, maybe this just in, maybe that's going to be releasing some more of that otherworldly energy, maybe including people that are not from this realm that maybe hide or have bases or live and dwell in some place in that way. Maybe fracking's going to wake up a whole lot more energy than just the earth itself. Again, this just in. But I also think that they're finding bacterial life, or they think that they're going to find bacterial life in the subterranean part of Mars. And then there's another moon to a planet that they also think, because of the underworld sea, that there might be life underworld. Somebody said that humans will discover alien in bacterial form, but intelligent aliens will discover us. I thought that was interesting. I think we're going to be looking down for the bacteria. There's going to be like this alien stand beside us, like, what are you going to look here? Here I am. But anyway, I think that is just very interesting. And we had mentioned too, that made me think the blue people, I think of Lenore somewhere, but there's this whole family that were blue. Pictures and everything existed, but some of them were not blue. Some of them were Caucasian and others in the same family. But it turns out that they understand now that they had a copper deficiency, I believe, or some sort of mineral deficiency. This makes me think, of otherworldly because of the language differences that they had, that they couldn't understand the language.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And something I thought was interesting, just as a little button on the top of that story, is that there was an English poet, Herbert Reed, who was inspired by he came later, was inspired by that story of the green children to write a novel called The Green Child. So that'd be interesting to look up and just see what route his story took.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if that is something that happened because of maybe they had a mineral deficiency and maybe were just not raised proper, like the wolf children, that you hear about, kids raised by wolves and stuff, and that's the cause of the delay in all that. Or if it is something from a subterranean world, which if it's a subterranean world, why was it called St. Martin? That means that they would have been Christian in nature to name their town after a saint. So, that sounds kind of strange to me. But anyway.
And maybe just an alternate universe,
the upside down for sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
my favorite stories coming up.
Well, I didn't even print out the whole story because to me it's
all in the title.
It's all in the title. The CIA admits psychic abilities are real, but they just can't figure out the science behind it.
And therefore, wait, I just want to show. See, it's real right there. Real. That's me. I'm real. Anyway,
that's right.
So are you, because I think all people are naturally psychic. I've always said that everybody is. It's just that I can't get away from it.
But I think I would file this right under the same, in the same file with, disclosure, and they're just putting this stuff out a little bit at a time. Because the CIA and other elements of our government and other governments have been using remote viewers for friggin' decades. That's very well documented. It
irks me that they let people like me suffer because they won't say that this is a valid thing. They want to degrade, demean, make fun, whatever, of people because, again, it comes back from fear. We need a safe and orderly society. We cannot be having people have special abilities, even though I'm not any really different than anybody else. So therefore we'll make fun, or we will say it's Boulder Dash. I've always wanted to say that word. Boulder Dash. I like saying that. Anyway, they've always done,
say it one more time.
Boulder Dash. And, in the meantime, it gives people security and safety, knowing that nobody is out there that can do something they can't. And therefore, we're safe and can all sleep at night. Well, and the truth is that people like me have always existed, and it is a natural part of being. and some just maybe have a little extra and can't do much anything else. So there you are. And it's like, thank you for saying that you all are big fat liars, and that now you're saying that we all know that just because you can't explain a thing doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I'm sure for a long time we couldn't explain gravity, but it still existed.
I like what Stephanie says, that psychic abilities, it is a science. It's its own science, parapsychology. And sometimes science is used, it can be as dogmatic and as limited as a fundamentalist religion.
I think most of the great scientific discoveries have been when somebody uses their imagination to take a leap in faith and go test something that maybe was being poo-pooed by everybody else. But you know what? That panned out. You got to have the occasional leap ahead. I think it was Einstein who actually made the remark about you got to have imagination or it's nothing. You got to have that ability to imagine possibilities or you just don't go anywhere. Do you know back in 1900s or somewhere right around the turn of the century back then, I forget the dates, they actually were willing to close the patent office because they said everything that had been invented had been invented.
Really?
There's
nowhere else to go from here.
We know everything. Sometimes I wonder too if there isn't some sort of out there intelligence that is also wanting to keep us in our little safe cocoon too, because it's again easier to tame, keep us tame. Somebody somewhere said, I read this, that maybe one reason we don't have more disclosure is because we are not tamed. And, that's true. If they're going to come down, some hilly's going to get a shotgun and shoot at them. I don't know. But that's what we do. We kill what we don't understand. Get a stick and poke it or something. Take it to the thing and dissect it. But, I can't stand us.
I think we're collectively getting a lot better. People are so much more
being educated.
Yeah, we're so much more open-minded. I mean, we've talked about before, so much of the entertainment, quote unquote entertainment, is opening our minds. Like a while ago when you're talking about
being tamed. We're being tamed. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, like you're talking a while ago, just a few minutes ago, about the CIA stuff, and you said, thank you for now, making people like me basically saying that you're okay. It's hard for us to remember, but like when you first started being a psychic, you had to really walk a fine line because there were a lot of people in this town who were not okay with you doing what you do.
Because evidently, if you do anything outside of what they understand, it's got to be of the devil. I don't know. I don't understand.
Well, I remember you used to spend a lot of time thinking about and kind of worrying about, when is somebody going to come knocking at the door and start making trouble for you?
Yeah, honestly, I fully expected to be murdered by now. Sometimes I'm disappointed that hadn't happened yet. But still, yeah, I do, because people are crazy. And, I'm just being my normal, natural self. But I don't know what some nut bar is with a gun and a pickup. Well, I think they should drive a pickup because I love pickups. It's
that jacked up thing.
Jacked up car, yeah, going to do me in for like telling somebody that, something they didn't want somebody else to know. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I tried to live right, have my heart right, put my trust in my higher power, and do best I can. And if anybody's got a problem with that, I'm just sorry as I can be, but I don't know what I can do about it. I am what I am. And, I try to do everything in a prayerful way. Okay, next.
All right. We're going to start winding it up here. But when I first came in, you were going on, and you're on a roll about naps. And you wanted to talk a little bit about
naps. Oh, yeah.
About the importance of naps.
He said naps. I was thinking capital letters and like it's an acronym for something. I was trying, what service, what governmental agency is naps? I don't remember. I always wanted to work for the government, but then people said, no, you don't. They'll come and carry you off and do weird things to you. And then I decided they're right. I don't. But yet secretly I do. I just want them to come to the house in a nice, send some nice, warm person that could know how to work me proper. In other words, get me relaxed and all. I think I could do stuff. I have told you stuff. Predicted 9/11. It's on a tape. Therefore, I know I did it pretty specifically. But, I just wish I could be used to help in a big way, but not in a way that somebody's going to come in and hook up my brain and fry it, which is probably what they try to do. Can't stand
Yeah, I'm skeptical that
people. Yeah, I think
you
that'd
would
fry
be,
my brain. It's
that you
exactly.
that you'd be used for good.
I would like for them to come and write me a check. So I'd like to do.
I tell you what, though, if you work for
Write me a check.
you work for the government on a deep level, and that is serious business. My brother was in Army intelligence, and whenever he was up for that, they went back and interviewed I think almost everybody he went to school with. The funny thing is, they did not interview anybody in the immediate family.
Yeah, I would never pass anything. I'm sure others. I actually have a very boring. Actually, I never thought that she's too dull. We can't get anything from that woman.
Okay, you want to talk about naps?
But I did want to help. I just want to say I did. I still do that, and to meet what's his name, that comedian that I like. What's his name? Bill.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd. God, I am not in my right mind right now. Yes, because I think he's interested.
Yeah. Okay. Did you want to talk about naps?
Oh yeah. Evidently, I need one. I've been sleepy lately. I think a lot of people have been sleepy, and I think some of that's seasonal. It's to change the seasons, allergies, and stuff like that. And a lot of it is energy. I think there's a lot of energy in the earth right now, and it could be very well making people tired and whatnot. But also, I think it's a psychic refreshment thing too. I think sometimes, it's something that is necessary when we're going through a period of spiritual or psychic growth as well. Well, I don't know, Noreen Wright, because I want to consult with somebody. I do have consulted, let me say this now, with local laws. Actually, one of my very good friends was a detective too. I have a few detectives actually, so I do consult with detectives. I do. I mean, I was wanting to go after some real bad guys. I would not be able to do it. The government, don't contact me. I can't.
Too late now.
They're on their way.
Agents are on the way.
I couldn't, but yeah, the nap thing, I do think that sometimes it's
There's
beyond.
a black helicopter.
I knew that was coming. I've often wondered if I'm being bugged by them, but I'm not that interested. I've got to get more interested.
I got to tell y'all, though, there is more quote unquote utility work in front of Angela's house than I've seen anywhere ever. Every time I come over here, there's somebody hanging off of a pole. And I said, you're under surveillance, don't you?
It looks like it, but I think I just got bad cable. But anyway, I think that the naps are not only for refreshment, for physical, because of the change of seasons and whatnot, but I think that too, that maybe sometimes we are psychically downloaded during this time, that maybe it's a way of like losing our consciousness so that it creates a little opening so that information from our higher power can maybe seep in. So don't fight the nap. It's actually proven to be a very healthy thing, but I think more than that, it could be a time to assimilate information from your own higher source. And I apologize if I've been too weird today. There's nothing I can do about it. Naps are good, period. That's it.
I was telling Angela right before we got started, JFK, he's always been a huge icon of mine. He was a big napper. Like he would just sit down somewhere and go out for 20 minutes.
20 minutes is the thing. You want to just, let yourself kind of fall down into that place, and you kind of gently hit the bottom. And then you slowly come back up, and that's usually 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and that can refresh you and it can help you. And the world does not need more cranky people, but it's more than that. I think it could be a lifesaver on down the road because it's recharging your batteries. And I just feel like that's something people need to take a little more seriously. People have got to get in balance. We've got a virus that's coming. It's going to pick on the old people first, but it's also going to get people that are weakened physically because they're not getting their proper balance. You got to have a proper work and a play balance. You got to have that, or if you don't, bad things will happen to you at some point.
The other thing about
I hear a rocket ship going. I'm not a rocket ship, a jet airplane.
They're coming for you.
I really have that fear. That ever since I was a little kid and I hear those go over, I feel a little bit nervous. I always feel a little bit like they're a harbinger of something. I don't know, just me.
Well, one more thing about the naps and the sleeping. If you guys think about or buy into the idea that there's all this energy, this new energy, higher vibrational energy that's coming to the planet right now, which I tend to believe. The rest, the sleep is essential in assimilating that, because that can be really hard on your body. So
it is, and there you go. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. You got anything else to tell us as a group, like a little flash reading or anything?
Be careful when you reach over your stove. I was cooking and I reached over my stove to turn off the burner or up the burner or whatever to the burner, and I burned my boob, and it was not fun. It was very painful. I don't even know how the heck I managed to do that in such a very sensitive place. But I think that's what how long I've been cooking? My entire life, I have never had a boob burn, ever. And I hope I never do again. So I think this means like things can happen when you're not paying attention. When you're working with fire, you might get burnt. So pay attention that you keep your balance, your head, your heart, your emotions, whatever. Keep your balance, because this is a time of imbalance. And when you're trying to get things balanced back, it's like it goes too far and then too far. It takes a little while for things to settle. So don't add to this by going off the deep end. Keep your anxieties under control, because this is a time when anxiety could be very rampant if we allow it. And you don't allow it by, again, maintaining balance. And that's your words for the next little bit. All righty.
Okay. I think we're done.
Thank you, people, so much for listening. As I tell you every week, or randomly when I think about it, I don't know. I love you all very much.
Look how much energy I got in my throat chakra now.
Oh, that's just amazing.
I know.
I love y'all. I wonder if it's showing up on their end. I love y'all very much, and thank you so much. And we'll see you whenever we see you.
Bye, everybody.
And let's do our ending here. Okay, and here we go. Or no, we're not going to go yet. There we go.